tomorrow on Fox Kids as the special Curse of the Shadowborg miniseries steams ahead. Vexor turns an army of freaky fiends on the loose. To victory! To bring an end to the Beetleborgs.
Enjoy the excitement all week.
The special Curse of the Shadowborg miniseries continues after Spider-Man tomorrow on Fox Kids.
I am Shadowborg.
This is a friend in need.
It's a friend.
You don't gotta call me out like that. Oh, right, the episode.
Yeah, the episode title finally kind of fits the theme of the episode. We're kind of almost getting back to it. They decided they didn't want to bother with theming or anything for a couple weeks, but they got back to it. This was
this must not have been a Gabe Torres one. Then.
I don't know, was it? No, this is a John Putch one.
John Putch.
Come on.
Oh, I don't go in the water.
Have any ID?
Wait a minute.
You know what that means? That means we can't talk too highly about it.
I liked this one. I don't know.
Dude, I think this is one of the best ones.
And good footage of both Japanese and American. We open up right where we left off in the last episode.
You have surpassed my wickedest dreams, Shadowborg.
Thank you, Master.
All the monsters, comic book monsters that Vexor and Shadowborg freed out of the comics, plotting their attack on Charterville, because it still has to just be Charterville, even though this is a movie.
Look, Charterville. All my homies hate Charterville.
I thought that our headcanon was it's actually happening everywhere, and this is the only place that's showing resistance.
Out of sheer spite and madness, we will terrorize Charterville. Then we will destroy the Beetleborgs once and for all.
He has an army of monsters and a seemingly indestructible robot clone of the Beetleborgs, and is still not like, we'll take over the world. It's still, I'll destroy Charterville. Great, Vexor. Hell of ambition there.
Victory!
And every time I see Amphead, I'm gonna get a little excited. This whole army, as cool as it is,
To victory! To victory! To victory!
the Magnivores are just furious at this whole ordeal, because they're like,
It's like we don't even exist.
Ain't it the truth, baby?
with Shadowborg for one, and then with Vexor having this new army, they're like,
I think we're going to have to prove our badness to Vexor to get back on his bad side.
And they say we need to get back on his bad side. I don't like this whole thing with, like, the Magnivores deciding that they need to, like, do something to prove themselves to Vexor, because they've always been disappointments.
They're literally two-dimensional characters.
Right.
So, like, I think they can't do anything but, like, what they're written for. They're, like, they would probably, like, have an existential crisis and literally fall apart.
Maybe
like, that's their one weakness.
Is that how we beat them?
What if we find out the secret identity of the White Blaster Borg?
White Beetleborg, here we
Right! Bravo!
Then we get, like, one of the weirdest scenes with Josh so far. He's in class, and his teacher's reading off, like,
I'm sure you all read chapters 13 and 14 last night, so here's a little test.
Josh,
And
this
then-
is the 17th time you've brought in White Beetleborg for show.
Okay, so Flabber, like, transforms into... It's not clear if he's literally the eraser on the pencil.
It starts with Flabber attempting to introduce himself because he's like, well, we haven't really talked much, so I just wanted to... And then he's like, bro, shut the fuck up. I'm in a test, man. And the teacher's like, Josh, you talking to someone? He's like, no, it's fine. And then he switches from on the pencil to the spot on the test. He's like, ooh, pick me. And he just goes, Flabby!
Like,
The
really
teacher's like,
fucking
you
loud.
fucking what?
Did you just call me flabby?
So with all these appearances Flabber makes in the classroom, do we think that he's literally appearing and turning into those things, or is he just appearing to Josh?
I think he's just
I think-
appearing to Josh is what it's meant to imply.
I don't know, though, because I think we're supposed to just assume people are stupid and unobservant.
He's so blatant about it, like he keeps
In the middle of
bugging
a
Josh.
test, everyone's quiet.
Yeah, he's just bugging the shit out of Josh. Josh is sitting there talking to himself, and finally...
Flabby?
Josh? I beg your pardon? Did you just call me Flabby?
Nobody likes a bad apple, Josh.
Do you want to go to the principal's office? Principal's office. Principal's office.
Oh, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me,
Nobody likes a bad apple, Josh.
Josh, do you want to go to the principal's office?
No. Sorry.
I was just sitting around. Oh,
Flabby!
He's just kind of like, no, I wasn't doing nothing, I swear.
Yeah.
And then it wipe transitions to the others out in front of the comic shop working on their bikes.
Hi guys, is Josh coming? I don't know. Why can't he make it on time?
He got detention.
Why?
I'll give you one guess.
Flabber.
Yeah.
And the Magnivores just like roll up, like, what up, I got a big cock. Josh is basically rolling down Charterville on his way to the fucking X Games when Flabber shows up. And Flabber decides, like, you know what? You know what I always wanted to be growing up? A fucking speedometer.
He's got racing goggles on.
Josh has a speedometer on his bike. Flabber pops up, spooks the shit out of him, and he does a fucking awesome. I wonder if this kid do his own stunts because he just fucking rolling, somersaulting through the grass.
I meant to do that.
Flabber's like, you gotta go to Zoom Comics, you gotta help the others.
Yesterday, I was so busy getting back everyone's powers, I forgot to study. Today, you get me detention. Now everyone thinks I'm wacko because I'm talking to my speedometer.
Now they got their powers back, they'll be fine. Oh, we're gonna do this the hard way?
Job, dude. Flabber takes him.
Yeah,
He
Flabber
straight up
does,
yeets him out of there.
and he teleports
He teleports
in.
his bike with him, too.
He like action figure posed him mid-teleportation and rearranged his atoms onto the bike.
Where did he come from?
The Magnivores are freaked out, obviously.
You are never gonna stop Vexor now!
You wish, monster brat.
That's Mr. Monster Breath to you!
Basically invite them to a battle?
He and his new comic book army are planning to walk all over the city!
Noxic yells out some shit he shouldn't.
Yeah.
And Typhus is like, great job!
What?
You should have just sent them an invitation!
Way to go, Blunderbrain!
Obviously they go back to Hillhurst because they've got to talk to Flabber to figure this out.
So what we need to know is how we can stop Vexor's comic book army.
Hold that thought, man. Josh, I'm so sorry. Don't be mad at me. Flabber, I'm not mad at you. I'm just thinking about stuff.
We don't have time for this. We need a plan. Remember in issue 66 when the Beetleborgs used that land-air defense pattern? And they also called them Gargantus.
But they never had to face Shadowborn.
But wait! You guys have the White Blaster Beetleborg. No, you don't. We don't. Beetle Bonder.
He gives up his Beetle Bonder, which we didn't see him have before.
Very first time of seeing this.
And it has a unique, like, rhinoceros beetle horn bit on it like all the others have. Josh is just like, no, I'd rather be doing homework. This all sounds too crazy.
He does give like a whole speech for it though. He's like, look, man, we got fucking monsters. I'm phasing in and out. I'm getting teleported. There's comic book shit. He's like, dude, I just want to do my goddamn homework.
Drew's like, there's only one person who can help us because Josh is the only one capable of anything, much like Shadowborg and Vexor.
Yeah.
Flabber turns into a trained steam horn. I guess that is the summoning horn to teleport Art Fortunes, wasn't
hard
it?
cuts to the monsters playing poker immediately after he does the whistle.
Well, what's it gonna be, Frankie?
Go hunting!
Go fish. Come on, Frankie. The name of the game is Go Fish.
That's it. You're going in for another lobotomy.
Doesn't he pop Art into the poker game? And
Yeah.
pops him
Yes,
into-
yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like Art's kind of getting a hand on this, but he is like...
He's handled it way better than Josh has.
Right.
Art
Yeah.
pops into the room and he goes, I guess I'm here now.
We get an interesting shot of Flabber where it's like him spinning around.
I went to Josh's school and did all this cute stuff, but he got detention. None of the Beetleborgs stopped the terrible trail from ruining a perfectly wonderful day. I thought they needed help, so I teleported Josh there, which was really bad. Instead of helping, only revealed Josh's true identity to the Magmors, who in turn told us of a horrible huge attack of Vexor's new army of evil minions. Josh's quit time is running short. You're here to help, and I'm out of breath.
Well, can you help us?
I think I have an idea.
Presumably the whole time he's sketching this, the Magnivores like, I don't know, prison marching comic book monsters to like...
woods like it's a
yeah.
damn chain gang.
Hey, rat boy, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. How's the family?
The rat monster turns around and like growls at him like, oh, fuck you up.
He's about to get fucking eat.
There. Done.
Wow. What is it?
It's called the Thunder Stinger, not to be confused with the Power Rangers gun called the Thunder Slinger. They don't mention it, but the weird blade knife gun that Drew has used in a couple episodes is like slid into the top of this. I guess the premise of this is that it like teleports them back into the comic automatically. That's how powerful it's meant to be. Apparently only Drew can use this weapon because, I don't know, it's Red Ranger syndrome.
The creator wrote it so.
Same with most shows. The lead character is the one that gets to use the cool new weapon. I kind of like the prop.
Flabber was like really excited for him whenever he was like,
And only the blue Beetleborg can use it. Cool!
Flabber was like, all right, and gave him a high five like in some sort of exclusive blue people club.
How come I don't get a fucking gun?
They're gonna take this weapon out for a spin, and so they gotta transform. So we finally...
Come on, guys, let's get ready to go.
Monsters, let this tyrannical party begin!
Beetle Thunder! Beetle Blast!
Ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and ghosts, this is what Hillhurst Mansion looks like today. These were taken on July 13th, 2021. How did we find the original shooting location from 25 years ago? The answer is just a click away in the description of this video. Follow the link to our Facebook post for the full story. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Big Bad Beetle Bros.
So yeah, we're up to 31. We get another cool, like, actual sketch
with
cut.
a pretty cool effect of them pulling it into the real world.
This gun is not like a blaster size.
It's a rifle.
It's definitely BFG territory.
Yeah, the Thunder Stinger. All right, guys, let's go. Thanks, Art.
Cut to fucking Blue Beetleborg on patrol, searching for fucking IEDs.
No sign of anyone, but they'll be here soon.
East clear gate, we have a west clear gate entrance.
Bravo 6. Go, go.
Joe is up in her flying AV doing patrols.
Yeah.
They've already got Gargantus out, and it's autopiloting. The joysticks are moving on their own, and there's like a Commodore 64 keyboard in between them. And we get some of the best Japanese footage of these AVs that we've ever seen.
Hey, I think they scratched my paint. I'll get him for that.
We've never seen the sheer amount of aerial maneuvers that happens during this.
Pure
Joe gets into a
dogfighting.
dogfight with them, and it straight up turns into ace combat.
It's actually like exciting. It's genuinely fun to watch.
It really
It's
makes you wish that
decent
they
as
used a
hell.
lot more Japanese footage.
Because their version was sick. What is often the best parts are just snippets of another show. I'm like, man, Japan had it fucking good.
And we cut right back to more green AV driving around, and they're like, oh, we gotta use the Gargantus.
The Gargantus Mega Cannon.
Ready? Aim.
Fire.
They nuke the rest of the Magnivore jets with Gargantus. 4 of the monsters come sneaking up on Drew. Green Cannon Machine, Sword Warrior, Graxus, lot of mugs. Of course, Sword Warrior kicks a rock. Had he not said anything, or none of the other monsters reacted, I don't think Drew would have noticed, and they could have just walked right behind him and snapped his neck. Drew just turns around, I'll fuck you up,
Bye-bye.
and nukes him. One shot, one kill, all 4, and they just poof, teleport right back in. It's very Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Garganturat and Dicehead walk up. They don't even get as much of an exchange as the other 4 got.
Fucks and die!
And Drew just turns around and is like, for you.
Yeah, whaps him with his cock.
But then Shadowborg jumps out and he's got scabs all around him.
Yeah, like it looks like he got in a really bad bike accident or it was.
The next scene is Flabber sitting in his director's chair, and Fangula walks up, gives him like a printed out headshot. I brought my own bonder, and he pulls out a fucking banana, and he starts like reading a script and pretending to be the White Blasterborg, and it's...
He feels like whenever a Beetleborg is in action, they go Borg, Borg, as they fire and strike action poses, and he goes blast, blast, blast.
Flabber is giving a great director impersonation for this whole thing. It's like yelling into a megaphone.
Beetleborg! Labyrinth again! I'll never work in this town again. Next!
Frankenbean walks in.
So he actually gets some pre-direction here. All right, now it's a mix between the blue Beetleborg and the red Beetleborg, but it's twice. He just like fucking screams it like Hades.
That was a great bit, but we have to ruin it because we have to cut to Heather's broken leg that will never heal. As they watch the news,
I'm Bunny Bodell.
That might be able to
came in earlier with it contradicts so that no one knows because the news knows.
Yeah, and like they say they don't know if they can beat this creature, the Shadowborg. Heather's like, oh, if only there was someone who could save the day, and Josh is like, yeah, if only.
He actually said, wow, so it's a real shame your leg's broken, huh, you lazy fuck? Maybe you could do something about it. You feel guilty now, you piece of shit?
Yeah, it was real gaslighting. It was a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, someone should.
Back to a pretty good fight that's all American fight footage. Drew fires the cannon at Shadowborg. Shadowborg is just standing there. It doesn't even phase him.
Thunder Stinger's useless against him. What are we supposed to do?
Nothing you can do.
We get a solid fight between all 3 of the Beetleborgs, Shadowborg, and the Scabs.
Gangbangers.
Shadowborg gets them lined up, and he's gonna shoot them, getting ready to fire at the Beetleborgs. Apparently, they're hopeless to just stand there and get shot.
Time's up.
All of a sudden, the three Magnivores just get dropped. They're tied up.
Get punted in. They're all three tied together too as one projectile that just gets thumped.
Finally, you three idiots show up, and you turn around.
I love it.
And on the hill is
X gon' give it to ya. He gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya.
the White Blaster Borg. He says something like, "You mess with my friends, you mess with me."
You mess with my friend, Shadowborg, and you'll have to mess with me.
It's like, you're not really their friend.
Right, like all of a sudden he loves these guys, right? Like, no, I was just kidding when I did my sick bike tricks in front of you and said I'm
They all
outie.
looked up at that moment and went, "Josh, you are but a means to an end."
Get down here, white bitch.
Yeah, they
do your job.
They see Josh the exact same way
Go
they
to
see
her.
this new gun.
Tell her you failed.
Thanks, Josh. We're not through yet.
Vexor teleports in like the size of the mountain.
You must return to the crypt immediately.
But I'm not finished.
Shadowborg, I'm almost out of double A's. You need to get back now.
Your power is dangerously low. You must recharge.
But the Beetleborgs are right in front of me.
At least Shadowborg is very much, no, I can kill them. They're standing right here. What are you doing, you idiot?
Return now.
This is not the end.
They just get teleported out. They just poof, they're gone. The Beetleborgs treat this like a victory, but it's not. It's just the end of the day.
They survive. It's kind of like if in a Pokemon battle, if your opponent was like, all right, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go heal real quick and be right back to kick your ass.
You're not mad at me anymore, right?
No! But instead of getting me in trouble at school, why don't you help me out with my science homework?
Flabber pulls out a goddamn contract after he convinces Josh to, it's like a 4-foot long scroll.
It's a CVS receipt of a fucking contract.
Sign here, initial here, initial here, initial here, sign here, initial here, blood, soul here. Like,
Good to have you back, Josh.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of work to do. Shadowborg is still out there. Yeah, and we need to find out what Vexor meant by recharge.
we have his perfect replacement already lined up. Fangula comes running in. Are you still looking for the white Fangula Borg? Like white trash can lids.
He's got a milk carton for a hat.
And
shoulder pads made out of kitty litter cartons.
Yeah, and a full white undersuit. Doing poses and yelling, Borg, Borg, blast, blast, Borg, Borg.
That led us into our brand new after credits scene that was literally just him doing that more while being chased around from
Blast
by the other monsters until they
Yeah.
eventually carry him away while he's still going, blast, Borg!
I like that the end credit scenes seem to be tying into the episode really clearly.
Yeah.
That was
All
real
new.
fun.
I think the job's taken.
I don't know. I like this episode. I think this might be one of the best ones we've gotten so far because it
It was
had
a good one. It had
Yeah.
so much good Japanese footage in it.
Yes, and it had
So happy about
everything.
it.
This is the point in the saga that people remember because it had the White Blaster Borg, it had Shadow Borg, it had all of the old monsters, it had the Beetle AVs, it had the new gun. There was a lot.
Really, if you watched like only that, or that was your first like experience with Beetleborgs, I wonder if it would feel more like Josh is supposed to be like the main character, you know, because he gets the whole story. Just explain everything else in the intro, so like you could really understand what's happening without too much explanation.
Yeah, it does. I know we've had a ton of people ask, like, why doesn't Josh come back in later episodes? And because that's just the way that they had footage for and stuff. But I don't know. I'm sure this is going to change when we get to the last couple episodes. But it feels so much that they are setting up for him to be, maybe not the new leader of the team, but to be a regular in the show.
It does.
And
it really does feel like
more so than they set up the main three characters.
Right.
And it's crazy that he's in 6 episodes and then never heard from again.